The Springfield City Library connects writers with interested readers and new audiences at their biannual author fairs. And joining me to talk about the upcoming one and also the importance of this connection is Matthew Jaquith, Adult Program and Training Librarian for Springfield City Library, and Kevin Allen, one of the local authors who will be featured. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
We'll start with you, Matthew. Talk about the importance of the connection of bringing the readers and the writers together.
Well, the author fair is addressing a need that was to some degree unaddressed a few years ago and perhaps less self-evident. The growth of self-publishing and authors who are working with small presses is very significant, and we're finding that more and more writers are choosing that path of self-publishing or working with a smaller press. By doing so, the numbers of these authors who are going that route has increased very significantly. And we find that our older model of having one author event for one author at any given time wasn't allowing us to match the members of our community who wanted this kind of representation, who wanted to make these connections with the readers we had, but perhaps didn't have the opportunity of working with a publisher that was putting them out on a large tour or offering other types of marketing support. So the author fair is a chance for us to showcase these accomplished, skilled, very competent writers in an all-day or half-a-day showcase to meet readers and actually to meet one another as well so that they can network and share their trade secrets.
Now, Kevin, this will be your first author fair. Talk about writing. What drew you to writing? Why did you want to write?
I love doing anything creative, and writing kind of gives me that space to go beyond what I normally do. I can do anything, and that's what drew me to it, just the ability to create a whole new world and to introduce people to new things, to experiences as far as Egypt, China, ancient worlds, and the future ones.
So you've not just written one or two, you've written a handful of books.
Right.
And you're working on some recent ones. Talk about the different genres that you hit on in your books.
One of my favorite genres is sci-fi. I love just to get away from Earth for a minute. And so the first book I wrote, it was based largely on the Book of Revelation and a few other mythological gods that we know, and a few that we don't. But as far as the genres I've written in, one of the things I learned was that I like romance, I like that, and I love horror. So the genres I've written, they were about 4. And then I wrote a self-help book as well, Unlocking Your Success Gene.
So you've got science fiction, you got romance, you got horror, you run the gamut.
Everybody.
You're everywhere.
Right.
Matthew, talk about how the importance of somebody like a big box bookstore would never be able to kind of showcase a small publisher or small writer rather. But here the library is kind of giving them this opportunity.
That is one of the reasons that so many authors come to us. A lot of the authors that I'm working with and have worked with in the past, this being our 8th fair, but the previous author fairs as well, come to us because they don't get that kind of exposure. So here at the library we're able to still find out what their materials are, consider the readers that we know that would be interested, make those connections, and also just let the marketing speak for itself, just getting the names out there, getting the materials that they've done out there, perhaps listing the genres so folks can discover on their own. Reading is a very private thing for a lot of people, and they like to actually be able to make those connections internally sometimes. So just presenting them with the information so they can then make the connections themselves is very useful in and of itself.
Kevin, how excited are you about the upcoming author fair?
Very excited. To get out there and actually meet people face to face. I'm kind of an introvert, extrovert, somewhere there. So to actually get out there and present my work in front of people face to face, sign a few books, I'm very excited.
Oh, that's great. And now, Matthew, talk about the details of the upcoming author fair.
The one we're having this month, Saturday, March 22nd, will be at the Central Library, which is 220 State Street, right on the quadrangle. It'll run from 12 to 4 and features a dozen recently published authors including quite a few from Springfield, but also some others from Hampden County as well. Kevin Allen, who's here with us today, but also Ray Connor from up in Belchertown, Eric Durham, Paula Finch, both from Springfield. Albert Garner, whose wife joined us at the first fair, also from Springfield, and several others, another half a dozen or so from Springfield and surrounding towns as well.
All local.
All local. This time around, all Hampden and Hampshire County. We have sometimes included authors from Berkshire County because most of us here in Western Mass think of a certain pride of place as Western Mass. But we do try to keep it as local as possible, and with the rise of the phenomena of self-publishing, that's getting easier and easier. Each fair, more and more authors are finding out about our service, are making that connection themselves to seek us out, and having that representation of Springfield and greater Springfield area based is easier to maintain.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matthew Jaquith and Kevin Allen, for your time. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.